Friends, in this video, I'm gonna demonstrate you how to go about creating an AI agent based on a deep link in Oracle Fusion AI Agent Studio Cloud. So before we go into the details, I'm going to quickly take you through the process flow of creating a deep link. So first you've got to create the deep link or use an existing one, which will be later used in a tool to create the AI agent. So while you're creating the deep link, you've got to give the family, product, resources, and most importantly, a relative URL with parameters. So the relative URL is the one that will fetch the form through which the agent will get you the information you're seeking. As an example, it could be a requisition URL, and you may want to see the status of the requisition, who created, and what status of it is, whether it is approved or not, and so on. And the deep link is about the same thing. It's about fetching a form within Oracle Fusion applications, as an example. Okay. So once you create the deep link, then the next step is you go about in creating a tool and associate that previously created deep link in the tool. Once you create the tool, the next step is you create an agent and you associate this tool within the agent. Now, this agent would be called as a worker agent. Once you have created the worker agent, then you embed this worker agent in a supervisor agent, and the supervisor agent will be a part of the agent team, which is where um, in the supervisor agent, you will fetch the worker agent that you've created in this step and uh, save the changes to the agent team. So basically, the agent team will have two agents. One is supervisor agent and then the worker agent. Worker agent will have the tool and tool will have the details of the deep link. Once you have all that, you've got the agent team ready and then you can test it and publish the agent team. And that's the end of it. Okay. So what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to take you through a business scenario. The same thing in relation to uh, the deep link creation in AI Agent Studio Cloud. So the business scenario is you got to check the requisition status. So the solution for that business scenario is you have to start by creating a deep link to access the requisition details, and then you use that deep link to create a tool, and you you basically also create a couple of other tools such as requisition status advisor and another tool to get the user session details. So in short, you'll have one tool which will contain the deep link, the second tool which will fetch the requisition status, and the third tool which will have the user session details. So what is a deep link? Deep link will be a link to the requisition form. Okay. Then the next step is you've got to create the topic. So basically a topic is nothing but a place wherein you give the instructions, and that instructions will be published in the chat when the user opens the agent. Okay. So then you create the topic with instructions, and then you create a worker agent. Within that worker agent, you call or embed all the three tools, which includes the requisition status advisor, the deep link tool, and then the user session details tool. So you'll have three tools, and then you also embed the topic. Finally, you create a agent team, and within agent team, you create a supervisor agent. Within supervisor agent, you embed the worker agent, and that worker agent will have these three tools in it along with the topic that you just created. And finally, you test it to make sure you're able to access the requisition details, including the status, and then whether the AI agent will automatically provide link to that requisition queried or not. So that will be the business scenario and the solution to the business scenario. And in this business scenario, I assume that the user will have the necessary procurement roles and access assigned to him or her to view or to update their acquisitions. All right. So let's go into Oracle Fusion Applications Cloud. All right. So here I am in Oracle Fusion Cloud. And before I proceed further, I want to quickly show you the release and version of Oracle Fusion Cloud application that I am in. So to see that, I will go here about this application, and that's where I'm going to see the details. So I'm on release 13 with a version of 25D, which is the latest version at the moment. So I'm going to close this off. Okay. And then I will go to AI Agent Studio. To go there, I will first click on this hamburger menu on the left hand top corner, and then I will drill down to tools section. Within tools, I've got this AI Agent Studio. Okay. So this is the dashboard. Now here I will navigate at the bottom. You see that deep link icon. So I'm going to click on this, and that's the form to create a new deep link. Okay. So I'm going to click on add to create a new deep link. And here I'm going to select the family as PRC for procurement and product. Let's say self-service procurement. The name here, I have the name as XY Requisition Status Advisor Deep Link. Okay. So automatically it will generate the code and the relative URL. I have it. So here I have the relative URL, and I'm going to copy that like this. And I'm going to go back to Fusion Applications. And here I'm going to give that relative URL over here. Okay, just paste it. Okay, and you have to give a description. So I'm going to give the description over here like this. And then I will leave the message as it is. Okay, and as you could see here, you have the parameter requisition header ID with a data type of string. So at this time, I'm going to simply hit the create button. So it asks me for a sample value. I need to provide a sample value. Here, I will double click on that. I'm going to change the data type to say integer. And here also I have to provide a description. So that's lying on my notepad. I'll provide the description like this. And then I have to provide the sample value. Here I'm going to provide a sample value like this. And once that is done, I'm going to hit the create button. So that will create my deep link. So let me go and query that. So I'm going to select a family of PRC, then a product of self-service procurement, and hopefully you will see it's over here, right? So the first step is done, that we have just created the deep link for the requisition status advisor. Now the next step is to create a tool and link this deep link to the tool. So to do that, go to tools and then click on add. Here tool type, this is most important. So choose deep link, tool name, give this tool name as an example. The code will be generated automatically. Don't have to worry about family and product. And this is what I'm going to give in the description. Okay. Then you scroll down and choose the deep link. Okay. And try to hit enter and see what happens. So here it is. So select the deep link, hit the add button, and then as you could see, the deep link has just been added to the tool, and then you hit the create button. So you see the deep link is now linked to the tool. And how do you find out? You basically search it by the name like this, and hopefully it will be over here. Can you see that? So at this stage, I'm going to go back to our presentation and we'll check out the flow chart for the process flow, and we'll also check out the business scenario to see where we are. Okay. So look at this. We have just created a deep link, and which is where we have added the family, product, resource type, relative URL, and parameters. We then created the tool and linked the deep link to the tool. Okay. And now is the time to create the agent and link the tool that we have created to the agent. Okay, so let's go and do that. Once we have done that, then we'll create a agent team and then create a supervisor agent within that agent team and then link this worker agent to the supervisor agent. Okay. Now going down to business scenario, a quick recap. So create the deep link tool to access the acquisition details. We then created tool for the deep link, and then we will use a previously created tool for acquisition status advisor and to get the user session details. Okay, and then I will also leverage a previously created topic to access the instruction for this acquisition status advisor. So now I will go ahead and create the worker agent, and then I will embed the deep link tool in the worker agent. I will also leverage the requisition status advisor tool and user session details tool, and I will also link it to the topic for instructions. So let's go into Fusion applications. So this is where we were, and I'm going to go into agents now. So this is a worker agent, and we'll create a new agent. So to create a new agent, you click on add and then choose some agent name. So let's say XY get, or I think rather than giving this description, I will give this. Okay. And then I will choose the family as BRC, product as self-service procurement, maximum interactions. So the maximum interactions are nothing but the number of times you want the user to interact in a single chat session, an AI agent. So I'm going to give 20, and here again I'm going to give this as the description, and agent persona and role I'm going to leave it. Prompt, say something like enter acquisition number, and then I will check the LLM. I will leave it as the provider. Optionally I can change it uh, to this one. So it's up to you which one you want. So I'm going to leave the default one, chat GPT-5 mini, and input and output variables. I'm going to leave it as it is. And then I'm going to hit the create button to create this agent. So at this stage, the worker stage agent has been created. I'm going to add the tools to that. So I'm going to click on tools and then I will go here. Here I'm going to click on this one. So the first thing is I'm going to search for acquisition advisor tool. Here it is. And you see this business object tool, I'm going to take it. Looks like it's a bit slow. And you see it just fetched the information, and I'm going to click the add button. So if you recall, the business advisor creation and associating it with the tool is something that I have demonstrated in one of my previous videos. So I'm not going to go into the details of its creation and its association with the tool. I'm going to simply hit the add button to add it. Okay. And then I will add my tool for deep link. And to do that, I will come here, I will remove this one, and then I will type the one that we have just created. Okay, so that's the deep link tool. As you could see, I'm going to click on add like this, and then I'm going to click on add again. Okay, so as you could see, the second tool has also come. Now I'm going to add the third one for fetching the user session details. And again, that one is previously created. So I'm going to choose that, and here I'm going to add it. Hit the add button. Okay, so that's all done in terms of the tools. Now I will add the topic for instructions. So I will come and hit the topic, and then I will search this topic, requisition status advisor. Again, that's something that was previously created. I will simply hit this plus icon to add the topic and hit the add button. Okay, so the topic is also added. So basically that constitutes the creation of the worker agent. And then I will hit the create button to create the worker agent. Ignore this message and hit the publish button. Okay, so as you could see the message, the agent is created. But just to make sure the worker agent is created, I'm going to requery it again. And you see it has been created. Okay, now I will go to the agent team as the next process step, and I will create a new agent team by clicking the add button, and then I will create a new supervisor agent. So here I will add a name out here. The code will be generated automatically. Family I'm going to choose procurement. Product I'm going to take self-service procurement. And type I'm going to choose supervisor. Then comes the maximum interaction. So I'm going to give as 20. I'm going to give a description. Remove the XY in front of that. And then I will hit the create button. Okay. In fact, there are certain other things which are similar to the worker agent. If you want, I can go through that. For example, LLM, I will leave it as the default provider. Any security. So this is important. You've got to choose the rules. So I'm going to hit the add button and I'm going to choose a role. So I would say something like procurement. Say if this is available, procurement requester, or procurement preparer. Think it's best to add something like employee to the role such that all employees should be able to access it. So, and then I will not be adding any question and answers. Of course, I can do that, but I will leave it and hit the create button. Okay. Now at this point, I will click on agents and I will add the agent that we have previously created. So that agent like this, hit the enter button. So that agent is listed out here at the bottom. I'm going to click on add that agent. Okay, and it's got all the tools that we have created, all the topics. Okay, and as soon as I hit the add button, it's gonna embed that worker agent in it. So we'll expand it. Okay, the topics as well. Fine. And then I will test it out using this particular button, debug. So I'm going to click on this one now. So the next step is testing it out. So, here I'm going to give something like what requisitions are in are our requisitions requires to have action required. Something like this. Okay, and let's see what happens, whether it's working or not. So you see, it has got three requisitions which have got purchase pending approval. Okay, but it didn't give us any deep link. But at the end of it, it's asking, would you like me to open details or provide a deep link for any of these requisitions, or check other requirements or prepare us for action required items? So I would simply say deep link. Let's see what happens this time. Hopefully, we should get a link to the requisition form and associated requisition number. So saying provide me the exact requisition number. So let's say if I want to get details of this one, so I will give this and see what happens. So looks like there is an issue. I don't know. We can try this pending approval status once again. Okay, so at the end of this, it's saying, would you like deep link or full line level details of these requisitions? So I would say just deep link. So here I would say that. So it just said, which requisition would you like deep link for? So I gave the requisition number, and then as you could see, it is retrieving that information. And finally, here is the deep link for requisition number, and here it gave us the deep link. And you see, it has just fetched the requisition number, and here are the entire requisition details using the deep link. So you can see the details are over here. So this is how the entire process of working with a deep link via a tool in AI agent works out.